Alright, welcome back everyone. Just want to give a quick update on things. I did do a run with the bandit and I obliterated in the celestial portal, which actually gave us a win. So I guess that kind of counts, but I'm still going to go through with the bandit again and try and get a win against Mithrix, and that's what I'd like to do tonight. So, without any further interruptions or anything, let's get going. Alright, so I guess my plan is to get through these pretty quickly. Um, I do want to travel back to the beginning maybe twice? We'll see. It really is just like how I wind up feeling for the thing. Um, so the run that I did wind up getting a win with this guy, I was recording it and I just really wasn't talking. I was tired, not really in the mood to record, and so I wound up like canceling the footage, but I did so at the very last moment. And I kind of regret it because I canceled the footage and immediately as like the teleporter was beaten, the celestial portal appeared and I didn't really notice it. And so I was like, "Oh, celestial portal." And if I had noticed that the celestial portal was going to show up prior to stopping my recording, I would have just finished and probably left everything. But I kid you not, it was maybe 30 seconds after I rage quit my recording that I went through and obliterated and could have just ended it. So I kind of regret doing that because now you guys all miss out on seeing the results of the first one with Mr. Bandit here. So to make up for that, I'm going to keep going and try and get a win against Mithrix. At least that's the plan here. I don't want to uh, leave it just as missed content and not make up for that somehow. But yeah, recording, sometimes I just have a hard time like getting into the talking mood. Like it's hard to just come up with content right off the bat, and I think that's like part of what I struggle most with in these runs is to find things to talk about when I'm playing and recording just to keep, conversation interesting and stuff. So I'm working on that, but I still wind up getting frustrated sometimes. So we're just gonna have to bear with me on that. And like everyone else, I'm human, work in progress. So it is what it is. But like I said, I'm gonna try to go back through this and see how things go. It's really good that we got this extra life. That gives us like a sort of buffer in case things go bad, which, knowing me, they will. And it has the added bonus of corrupting random items, which not necessarily the best because you could wind up with a really bad corrupted item, but I don't know. It's still worth it. All right, I'm gonna go get that. I'm gonna go get that, and we're gonna activate this. Oh, one of the other things with the missing run that I deleted. I was trying to use my controller for that run with this character, and it was going all right. I'm not really a fan of using controller for shooting characters. I used to play a lot of things like Call of Duty and Battlefield on consoles back in the day. So, like, I have experience using a controller for shooting, but mouse and keyboard is a lot better for first person style or third person over the shoulder style combat. And it is um it is one of those things where I feel like I could do better with mouse and keyboard, so I was kind of like little self-conscious the entire time I was playing. I'm like, ah, man, I really should be doing better. I'm not doing great. This is unfortunate and whatnot, but I wound up doing all right. So I might go try and do that again at some point. And the reason why I decided to use the controller was to give my wrists a little bit of a rest. I have a tad bit of what I think is probably carpal tunnel at this point, which is really not great because I'm not an old person and I don't want that to just develop into carpal tunnel like for the rest of my life. So when I can take a break from using the mouse and keyboard and my wrists are hurting, I really need to do so. So I'm probably going to use controller because I can be a little bit more comfortable while using controller. Um, it has a lot to do with like the height of my desk setup. So like my chair and everything, which I've since adjusted to help a little bit, but it's still not ideal because my desk is sort of at a fixed height. Like I can't adjust the height of my desk at all. So it's all very reliant on like my chair position, and there's a lot of factors that play into that. One of them being the um, like the height of the armrest to the mouse pad and everything, but also one of the big factors is the height from like the chair to the floor so that my feet can rest on the floor, and it's just a balance I haven't gotten uh, very good at with this current setup. So I'm trying to adjust it, or at least see about adjusting these things to help relieve that repetitive strain on my wrist, and we'll see how it goes. Um, but yeah, I might wind up doing a little bit more controller stuff because I can at least hold the controller and walk around, or not walk around, but like move my hands around and rest them wherever is most comfortable. And that's probably the best way to just take it easy and not put too much strain on my wrists, is just getting into a very comfortable position there. And I know like there's mouse pads and things I can use to help, but I I really think it is the desk setup. Like just the fact that my desk is at the height that it is. And I've talked to other people, like some of my family has the exact same desk, and it's irritating for them too. It's just like a very odd height for a desk to be at. It's a little taller than I would expect. And I mean, the desk's a great desk. It's a wood desk where all of the pieces just slot into each other, so there's no screws, no bolts holding anything together, which means that in order to disassemble the desk, you just like undo the parts that are slotted into each other. And so I've reassembled this desk like a dozen times or more. And it's really great because of that, because you move it between rooms and all you got to do is just take it apart and move all the pieces individually rather than trying to move like the entire thing from a room to another room. But it does kind of have its drawback where it's just not adjustable. So I might consider getting a new desk. Um, I might consider keeping this for some things and maybe getting an additional desk. In the current space I'm located, I don't have enough room for any sort of additional desk, unfortunately. So I would have to wait until I'm able to move to a new office setup, which might be in a couple months. I'm looking forward to having a little bit more space to do this and VR. VR is a big thing on my channel. If you guys haven't seen that content, go check it out. It's great. I love doing it. And it would be great if in some of that VR content I had more room to move around because I often find myself punching walls. And that's not good. At least it's not good for the VR equipment because there's been times where I think I've been so close to punching a wall very hard that I could have easily broken the like handheld controller pieces, and that it's not something I want to try and repair or replace. So yeah, I need a little bit more room than I currently have for VR stuff, but I'm gonna keep making content, and one of the things is the VR uh, the VR equipment and stuff is all wireless that I have, so it's nice to be able to take that and just move around as much as I desire in the room space. So if I had more room, I would be able to uh, move around and do things like kneel down and step out of the way, and it would feel a lot better gameplay wise, I think. But yeah, now the main game that I do VR in is Hot Dogs, Horseshoes, and Hand Grenades, and that game's good. I like that. I've gotten a little burnt out on it recently, but I do plan on picking it back up. By no means is it going to be something I'm done with. It's just I maybe went overboard recording a little too much content for that all at once. And so taking a break, playing some other games like Risk of Rain now. And yeah, the I tried Risk of Rain VR. There's a mod for Risk of Rain that lets you do first person VR, and I was trying that out with my friends the other day. So, if any of you recognize Jeremy or Graham from the previous episodes of this, and I don't think they'd probably only be in this, but if you guys recognize them from any of that kind of content, I was playing Risk of Rain with them while wearing VR, and the multiplayer support's great. Like flawless to join people while playing this in VR. And the only drawback I noticed was when you are in spectator mode, it just gives you like a little standalone display to stare at, and you can't like actually see or move it around any. So it's a little weird, but nothing too bad. All right, is it just me or are these guys stuck? Because this is 2, 3 days now where on this level specifically, my drones have not followed me around. Actually, it was part of the run that got canceled, so we missed that, but I lost all of my drones on this level because it looks like they're kind of a little broken right now. All right. I'm gonna grab this chest over here and run over to the teleporter. We should keep moving. This level's... Oh, there's two chests here. All right. I'm thinking I should have picked up the goat hoof instead of the soldier syringe early on because I'm feeling slow. I need to move around these levels quicker to get to everything that I want to get to. Alright, nothing over here. Don't see anything immediately here, so let's just hit it. Alright. Oh no, bad timing. Don't kill me, don't kill me, don't kill me, don't kill me. Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to do that with the controller. I need to set my controller sensitivity a lot higher, I've found out. Alright, beat the boss. Bosses. Um, did our drones die? Yeah. See, this sucks. My drones are dead. I'm just gonna have to go to the next level because I'm not gonna run over and get those drones again. So that was just a waste of money, and they need to fix this bug. Hot take. All right. Um, let's see. Oh, we're back here. Okay. Like, where are we? This makes sense. I mean, I know no one's in the comments and no one's watching these. I can see the stats, but just for the future people, if you do watch this and you're, future person, let me know what kind of VR stuff you do if you do any VR, because I have the Oculus Quest 2. It came out, I think, year or two ago. Um, I got it a little over a year ago, and it is so much fun. I mean, I know it's not the best headset, but for the price range, it is fantastic. And the fact that it is wireless is phenomenal. Um, there is a trick for setting it up, so if you don't know how I managed to do VR in H3 with the Oculus, there's a couple ways you can do it that I know of. One is you can plug in the headset with a cable to a USB on your machine. Um, if you do decide to do that, I recommend getting a very long, like 16-foot USB-C cable. Make sure that it is a good quality one. You don't have to use the one that the store sells, the Oculus store, because that's like $80. You can find some for maybe $20 or $30. Um, I think the one I got was $40 just because I wanted to make sure that I had a good quality one. Um, and yeah, you can plug that into the computer and play it through um, Steam VR, and make sure you do set up Steam VR because you can play any Steam games that support the Oculus through Steam VR. Um, and all you have to do is once you have the the thing plugged in, you can launch Steam VR, and it gets you into like the Steam VR home studio or whatever it's called, and from there you can choose to play any of your Steam games. So that's how I do the um, VR if I use it wired. However, most, if not like 90% of the time, I'm using it in the wireless mode. And in order to do that, you have to download a program. I mean, there might be multiple, but the go-to program is Virtual Desktop. And what that allows you to do is it allows you to connect your Oculus to a computer on the same network, um, all by username. It's a really easy setup. And once connected, when you launch the um, VR desktop, it allows you to have control of your desktop computer. And from that interface, it lets you launch Steam VR, and that will then stream the games wirelessly. If you do choose to use that setup, I highly, highly recommend you use a 5 gigahertz router. So if your Wi-Fi doesn't if your Wi-Fi doesn't say it's 5G, you're gonna really have trouble. 2.4 does not have enough bandwidth, it seems, to stream VR content over the network like that. But if you do have a 5G router, try to plug in the desktop computer to the router directly with internet patch cable or something like that, and then you can run the VR through the router wirelessly to the headset, and it's really simple. The one program I did decide, or the virtual desktop program, is a paid program, so I think you have to spend like $20 to get it, and believe me, it is one of, if not the best, $20 I've spent for the Oculus. Like, hands down, I would just immediately get the Oculus and put that on there, because it is literally the only way I play this VR stuff anymore. It's fantastic. If you don't want to spend the money, there might be a way to do it. And I'm a little unsure about this, but there might be a way to do it with the Oculus desktop app. I know that they are trying out some AirLink thing that lets you stream wirelessly. I have not found that to be as easy a setup to use as the virtual desktop streamer. So that's just fair warning. Your mileage may vary there in terms of ease of use. So if I had to make the choice, I would still go with the virtual desktop streamer for the $20. And it's super duper easy to use and set up. Beyond that, I I think I would prefer to have more space to do VR in, because I would like to try setting up VR with a like a powered USB hub that I could plug my headset in through, so that I can charge the headset while playing. Because one of the limiting factors when I'm doing the VR stuff is the battery life of the headset itself. The headset takes and has a couple hours of battery life to it, which for most things is perfectly fine, but if I do decide to go on an extended play session, I can pretty quickly wind up running the battery down on it. And the other thing is I oftentimes will forget to charge my headset, and then when I go to play, it's at like 25% battery, and I'm frustrated because I can't play. So if I had a powered USB hub, I think that might provide enough power and still pass the data connection through to let me play and charge at the same time. If I were to do that, I would probably need a different cable, or at the very least, some way of attaching the cable to like an above the spot hook or something so that I can move around more freely and not get tangled up. And there are cable management things for that I could look into. But some future next steps for that. I'm kind of interested in all of that. I do have a bunch of other VR games that I just never really got into, and I would still love to try and check those out at some point. Um, the biggest of which I think is the Skyrim VR. So I do have Skyrim VR, which, that's great. I play that a little bit, so it'd be interesting to see how that plays out. Um, I found it to crash a decent amount, so I would probably need to look into mods to help make that um, more playable, generally speaking. So it's something I might check out in the future. And then the other one I got was Fallout 4 VR, which I never really liked Fallout 4 that much. It just really wasn't my Fallout game. I definitely preferred Fallout 3. Fallout New Vegas is really good. Fallout 4 started to change things a little bit too much, and it took me a very long time to buy the game. So I don't think that that's going to be an anytime soon play for me. But I do have it and might check it out at some point if I get bored doing some of these other things. Um, yeah, so like Fallout 4 would be fun to do. Skyrim would be fun to do. What else do I? Oh, No Man's Sky. Um, I haven't forgotten about No Man's Sky. I will record more episodes of that. Um, the one thing to note with that is that playthrough is not a VR playthrough. I know that you can do VR. I've done VR in it. I didn't want to make all of my content VR based. So with that, I decided to play just normally. I may make a um, second series at some point, if I do decide to get back into it, to do it VR only. So keep an eye out in the channel for a VR playthrough at some point in the future. Um, it won't be a near future sort of deal. Again, it's probably going to function more like the Fallout 4 and the Skyrim, where it's just sort of in the back of my mind. And we'll see, long term if that comes up. Um, yeah. So I have kind of been slacking doing the No Man's Sky video, and I I've done 6 episodes total, and I think at the time I'm recording this, only 2 of them are out, and I plan to maybe get this out. Oh, I don't know, several weeks later. So who knows how many will be out by the time you're hearing this, but I kind of get a little stuck with No Man's Sky. I recorded it for a few weeks and I had a lot of fun doing it, but the gameplay in No Man's Sky is it feels a little slow. It feels slow and more of like a casual talking game, and I'm fine with that. I played No Man's Sky real early on when it was a much less refined experience than it currently is, and that may have soured my brain a little bit towards No Man's Sky just in general. So, for example, some of the things that we had to deal with early on were they promised things like being able to find your friends, but you would never be able to find them because there's so many planets in it. Like you just never ever it would be just impossible to find a friend without meeting up with them through like a trade hub or direct connecting to them, which I don't even remember if direct connecting to your friends was there originally, but it is something they've added since. And that's fine, but it was also really, really buggy. And they've made a lot of strides since then, but early on, you wouldn't be able to see your friends. Your friends would be there, but they wouldn't be able to be seen. You would have weird things like just phasing through or falling through buildings and the planet, which for me very frequently resulted in me dying and losing my progress and stuff like that. So it was a real buzzkill for the multiplayer aspect of the game. And I feel like that game is a better game with people involved, which is why I started recording it because I wanted to talk to you guys while I played it. And I I had a lot of fun doing that in the past few episodes, but I kind of got sick at one point, bronchitis for like a month and a half, and I just did not want to record and talk, and I just lost all my momentum that I was carrying with that game. So I promise I'll get back into it. I just don't know when that's going to be. This Risk of Rain business is sort of taken up a lot of my mindset um, since I've been able to come back and record. So I think this is just what I'm going to do for the time being. And as I've indicated in my um, previous episode of Risk of Rain, where I went on a big old talking rant, I'm going to just only do things that make me happy. And if No Man's Skies, I'm just not feeling it, I'm not going to force myself to play it. It just, it won't, it won't happen, and I'm not going to do it. So I will get back around to it, but it's going to have to wait until I feel like doing it. And don't worry, it'll come back if that was a series you're into. Um, if that's not a series you're into, I have good news because I will be doing some other things. Um, Without too many spoilers of what I plan to do, um, I like strategy games. Um, I have for a very long time, and I would like to maybe bring some of those onto the channel as well, as maybe some of the classic strategy games that I played as a young kid. I might bring those back on and play through some of those and talk about what I'm doing and stuff like that. I don't know how good I am at those. I mean, I would say that I am pretty good at strategy games compared to a lot of my friends, but in the grand scheme of things, if you compare me to professionals who are playing it, I'm probably really, really bad. So I'd be interested to see if people watching are just like, wow, you're really bad at this. And, hopefully it'll be entertaining for those of you who do watch and sit there and think you're really bad at this, because I probably am. So I plan on bringing some more content like that to the table. I don't know when that's going to happen, but I have picked out at least one strategy game that I'm a long, long time fan of. Um, it has sort of a challenge mode to it where you have to play against a certain number of computer opponents in order to beat the challenge. And I plan to run through that challenge in a variety of different ways to see how I fare. So that's sort of my plan. Um, I have an idea about a second one as well. So um, a second strategy game that I might bring in. Um, Again, it's a strategy-based game, very similar concept to the first one I was just talking about. Um, I don't know which one's the older of the two. They came out both around the same time, mid 2000s ish. And yeah, I think I'm going to try this other one. Um, I'm not sure exactly the format of how I plan on doing that one because that strategy game takes a lot longer to play. I would arguably say I'm better at that one than the first one that I picked, simply because of the number of times that I've played this second game that I'm talking about. Um, but the playtime on that can be like multiple hours long. So in terms of video content, I'm not sure how the logistics of that are going to work yet. So we'll see. We'll see about that one. I guess with that strategy game, I would be doing more of a campaign playthrough. There's a variety of different playable factions in game, and I probably will take my time to play through each of the factions in their own campaign and maybe even check out the sequel to that and see about the campaign in the sequel as well. Um, yeah, so I don't know about what my plan with all of that is yet, when those will be coming out. I was very tempted today to start recording those. So it shouldn't take too long. If I had to guess, I would probably wind up getting at least the first little bit of that out before any new recording for No Man's Sky happens. Oh, I didn't. I'm so dumb. I get caught up in talking to you guys. On the last map, there was that red chest that I looked at, was saving up money for, and didn't buy. I'm so dumb. I like that more. All right. Oh, that's a bummer. I just looked. I'm like, I don't have any red items. But yeah, so like the strategy game content, just keep an eye on that in the coming weeks. I don't know how the schedule for YouTube's gonna go, so how I currently have been uploading was I've been uploading um I've been uploading the H3 VR content Monday, Wednesday, Friday. This past week or two at this point, I've been uploading No Man's Sky on Mondays, I believe, and then the rest of the week has been H3 VR content. Um, I think my plan going forward is Mondays will be No Man's Sky content, so I'm gonna keep that coming for those of you who are interested. And the H3 VR content will make its way into the Wednesday slot still. There's a massive, massive backlog of that content. So I don't know if I'm going to start releasing bonus episodes of that at some point or combine episodes. I have not figured out that logistic situation yet. So just stay tuned for that. I know starting out, a lot of my videos were short, like 8, 10, 12 minutes. Um, my plan with the H3 VR content is to get it around that 30-minute mark on a regular basis. So that means probably more extended 5 hold runs rather than 3 hold runs and things like that. um, yeah, so I have a lot of that content stored up. So that easily could, with that new schedule, mean that H3 VR content is just going to be incredibly dated by the time that I make it, um, which I'm not a fan of. So I might expedite some of those videos as bonus content or combine some of them. I'm not sure what my plan is. Um, so so I'll be keeping that going. And then the um, No Man's Sky content again on Mondays. I got to record more of those. I think I have something like 6 weeks of that, and 2 of those weeks are already out. So yeah, that's got to happen sometime soon. And then this Risk of Rain content, um, I want to do these like Fridays, just because I enjoy it, and I think having more group content happen on like Fridays is kind of like a little fun thing. I just casual Fridays, casual content, just not not focused too heavily on trying to maintain any sort of cohesive channel image there. Um, that's with that being said, though, I don't always plan on doing group content with Risk of Rain. Like, obviously, this video isn't group content. So, Friday Risk of Rain content may be switching back and forth between Risk of Rain and Risk of Rain collab and Risk of Rain simulation runs. And long term, I don't even know if Risk of Rain is going to stay around. I've been playing it a lot and I'm having a lot of fun. So, Friday might switch to something different when I feel like it. Um, in actually, speaking of the strategy game content, that might go into the Friday or Monday time slot, depending on how open the upload schedule is. The Wednesday time slot with H3, I guarantee I have enough video content to put up there for the rest of my life at this point. I I have hundreds of episodes of that recorded, so that's probably 2 years worth of Wednesdays that I have. So don't expect Wednesday content to change away from H3 VR anytime soon. Um, the length of the video might uh, be short. I might increase it over time. I've been managing to do longer videos, so it is really just whatever I feel like doing. But thinking about the Wednesday schedule, that for the foreseeable future will remain H3 VR content. So if you came to the channel to get that kind of content, you're in luck because there is plenty. So yeah, that's kind of my like big game plan. Wow. I I've been going at that for like 40 minutes now, but I kind of wanted to talk about it. Like my YouTube game plan is sort of all of that. Um, if anyone has any good game recommendations that they want me to check out, I'm very open to the idea. Um, it primarily will need to be PC games to start out with. So make sure that if you are thinking of doing any sort of game suggestion for me, um, that it's available on PC. Um, with that being said, though, I do have access to a lot of content through Xbox game streaming, so that's a possibility for me. Um, the other thing is if if I keep up with this kind of content and I really do enjoy doing this long term, I might try to check out some sort of capture card system, and I might try to record some Nintendo Switch content. Um, I got a Nintendo Switch, as I've talked about several times, because I've wanted to play uh, Pokemon and Mario games and things like that, um, more so than I have been. Um, More so than I ever have, to be honest. I never was a Nintendo kind of person. I never had those consoles growing up, so I just never played things like Pokemon or Mario. So I'm getting into that and I really do enjoy it. So maybe down the line I could bring some of that content to the channel as well. Um, I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm not really eager to spend money on a capture card at this point, but I could do it if I change my mind about that. So if that gets to be interesting, or in the far future when Steam Deck ever comes out and I can get my hands on one, um, I could also try capture card for Steam Deck as well. Um, the idea with that and the idea with the Switch being that I would put it in my dock and capture the video output as I'm playing through the PC so that I can record some of those games. And yeah, I have. What games do I have on Switch? I don't have any Mario games yet, but I do have access to a handful of them through friends and things, so I might be able to play those. Um, I currently own um, Stardew Valley on there, um, and what else? Um, Stardew Valley. I got the Borderlands um, edition thingy, so I have Borderlands pre-sequel, and Borderlands 2 on Switch. Um, I do have Pokemon um, Sword and Shield, I think. Again, I don't know the Pokemon games very well. So potentially a Pokemon game, one of the ones made for the Switch initially. Um, I have one of those that I could play, perhaps. I kind of like to play that one on my own, though. I don't know a lot about Pokemon, so it's more of a sort of learning experience for me. And also, I play very slow. I feel like the gameplay in that is a slow progression gameplay, so that may or may not make its way to the channel. And then I do have Minecraft for the Switch. Um, I'm a native PC playing Minecraft person. I've been doing it for the better part of 15 years or whatever at this point. Um, I am very bad at Minecraft on the Switch. Just for whatever reason, it just is not easy for me. Um, so I actually had to turn the um, mob grieving off because my bases, like my starting houses, just kept getting blown up. Um, my bed and everything just gone. Um, and I die all the time. So I also turned keep inventory on, which feels very cheaty. I really don't feel great about that, but I kept it on because I'm treating the Switch more as just like a play and have fun and design a cool little base for relaxation than I am actually really try-harding the game. I I've spent enough time in my life try-harding Minecraft. I don't need to try-hard it on the Switch. So again, kind of a slow game progression. Probably won't make it to the channel, but if it ever does, just there's a possibility. Okay, there are quite a few of these guys. All right, that was easy. A lot easier than I thought it'd be. We got a little close to dying there a few times. Uh, don't really care for these all that much. It's kind of a lame reward. Um, yeah, so we're actually getting pretty strong this run. I haven't talked about the game that we've been playing very much. So let's talk about what's going on here. I've got a lot of items. Um, health feels a little low, so might want to consider healing items somehow. Damage is feeling good. So maybe something along the lines of shields or um, health regen. Um, kind of looking just for red items at this point. And so we might start running through these levels very quickly. Is this going to be void only? Because I'm really not happy about that. Uh, Weeping Fungus is really good for this character. Um, what else? I'm kind of getting to the point where I feel like I could try Mithrix. It wouldn't go over well. So if I make it to the level to go back around, I'm gonna go back around. If not, I'm going to take a celestial portal or the corrupted portal if it comes up. Because those I feel like will be easier paths out of the game. So I'm kind of looking for my way out now, and that might wind up being one of those other non-Mithrix options. Um, let's see. Where are the enemies here? Three guys, zero. Okay, it's cleared. Nice. I am feeling pretty strong, so I'm not too worried about like a Mithrix fight. I'm more worried about the um, all the lunar chimera stuff because those are actually harder to deal with than Mithrix. Like the flying ones are just they'll rip me to shreds. Ow. Um, I guess I'll take scrap. Don't really need it. Needle tick's nice. Adds to our overall needle ticks. Um, where is the teleporter? I guess at this point I'm looking for movement speed most of all. As odd as that is, I don't have a lot of movement speed, and I feel like mobility is good for this character. Really good. I'll use my scrap here. I'm gonna forget about this scrap. I always do. Teleporter's here. Is this the celestial? We'll see, I guess. It looks like it. I'm gonna take the celestial portal if it is. I feel like that's like the only good way out right now. Like I could do the corrupted or the void ending, whatever you want to call it. Um, that would probably be like a long slugfest where you're just fighting the guy, hiding, that sort of thing. Um, and fighting Mithrix with all those chimeras is gonna end badly. If it's the shop, I'm just gonna carry on. I don't need anything from the shop, I don't think. I mean, I could go check it out because there's probably going to be that, what, 5 items for a red trade in there, which honestly wouldn't be too bad for us at this point. The only thing I would hate to do is lose the corrupted life. But this feels like a good run. This feels at least strength-wise like one of my better ones with this character. I've had really long runs with him before. All right, we're going to obliterate. Oh, I was playing as one of these characters, and I was trying to jump down these things and just kept falling off and fell forever and ever, and then kept respawning. Doesn't it feel like there should be something right here? Well, thanks for watching, everyone. This has been a great run. Sorry, it's been more of a talky episode, but that's kind of how some of these will go. At least I'm talking in this one. I could be like the last episode and just delete it because I wasn't talking enough. So I hope everyone enjoyed. Again, please let me know down in the comments what kind of games you'd like to see, and yeah, have a good one. I'll see you all on the next. Let's go ahead and obliterate ourselves. Oh, yes, I am sure. I forgot that it's a yes, are you sure thing. Oh, I don't do this often enough. All right, so 59 minutes, almost 1,000 kills. Kind of low on the damage dealt, but hey, it is what it is. It was a good, successful run, so I'll take it. That's another win for the bandit character, and yeah, so thanks for watching, and I'll see everyone in the next one.